Good morning, Man Hour Nation. How about the Buffalo Bills last night? Bills Mafia, where are you? Are you guys okay? I'm asking for a friend. Are you guys okay? It is time to panic in Buffalo. Is it time to panic in Jacksonville? Baltimore Ravens, are you in panic mode? The Kansas City Chiefs getting chased down. Are you all in panic mode? But first, and now, Mike's thoughts. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. When you guys have not scored a touchdown in 11 NFL quarters, when you guys damn near has many penalties, 17, as you do in points in the last two games with 18 points, there start to be some questions around your organization. There starts to be some questions around, is it time to make some changes at the quarterback realm? Is it time to make some changes at the offensive coordinator? Is it time to just rattle the birdcage and figure it out? Well, guess what, guys? The New York Football Jets are like, no. Slow it down, baby. We are not going to make any changes at all. Zach Wilson is our quarterback. Nathaniel Hackett is our offensive coordinator. We don't need any changes at all. We are A-OK. Robert Saleh says, and I quote, "It's hard to make changes just to make changes, just to pacify something, especially when someone is not deserving of that." Robert Saleh said Monday. If he, as in Zach Wilson, was deserving, I got you. Let's change something. That's always the case for every position. Robert Saleh is satisfied with the way Zach Wilson is playing. Robert Saleh is satisfied the way Nathaniel Hackett is playing, calling the plays. You guys know what this tells me? Deep down, do you guys know what this tells me? This tells me that Aaron Rodgers is in the ear of Robert Saleh. Aaron Rodgers is in the ear of the owner of the New York Football Jets. Aaron Rodgers is leading this ship. Because you know damn well, everybody in the NFL knows damn well, if play calling is taken away from Nathaniel Hackett, if Zach Wilson is benched, you piss off Aaron Rodgers. When you piss off Aaron Rodgers, he's going to not be back next season. If you piss off Aaron Rodgers, he's not going to come back mid-December, lead you to the playoffs. Let's just be honest. The reason why there are no changes being made in New York right now for the New York Football Jets is all because of Aaron Rodgers. Robert Saleh is not satisfied with the quarterback of Zach Wilson. Robert Saleh is not satisfied scoring 18 points in the last two games. Robert Saleh is not satisfied having 17 penalties in the last two games. It is what it is. The point of the matter is Robert Saleh is not happy. He is saving face for Aaron Rodgers, saying, Aaron, come save me. Zach Wilson is just so bad. He's got a hot mom, but he is just so bad. That's what it comes down to. Let's just be honest. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs. You know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA. We the big spark. No 4 just won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all 3 speakers go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Sure to heaven to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well. But most importantly, guys, check out that listen tab. If you're going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, if you got a meeting to go to in a half hour, if you're going to miss the first half hour of the show, whatever, it doesn't matter. Head over to manhourradio.com, click on that listen tab. As soon as this live stream is over, the podcast will be up there. You can listen to it in podcast form. But of course, this is the only NFL show where your boy, Buck Nasty, is grinding each and every day. You guys realize we put out a short every 3 hours. We put out a clip every 3 hours. We interact with you on the Facebook every hour on the hour. There is so much going on over there at manhourradio.com and facebook.com/manhour. Guys, if you guys are not a member, you should be. Hit the member button, subscribe to the channel, whatever you gotta do, help us support, and go to the moon, baby. Go to the moon. But most importantly, right now, guys, hit that like button. Hit that like button. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you angry it. I don't care if you love it. Either way, interact with it. Hit that like button, hold it down, and go to the angry face. I don't care. Give us some type of interaction today. Well, we got my man, Jim, freaking pal in the chat today. He says, what's up? Did 1999 just called, what's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, man, that was so cool. Was that a Mountain Dew commercial? They're like, what's up? What's up? Oh, man. But, Jim, what is up, man? What is up? What is up? What is up? He also says you can't get a good QB in there because where would Rodgers he go? So you're saying that the New York Jets can't bring in another quarterback because Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be able to go anywhere? Listen, Aaron Rodgers would go to the San Francisco 49ers in a heartbeat. He would go to the Minnesota Vikings in a heartbeat. He would go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a heartbeat. There are places where Aaron Rodgers can go. B. Ron Williams in the chat. He says, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's up? What's up, B. Ron? Hope you're having a grand old day, man. First time I've seen you in the chat, man. So this is a live interactive show. If you want to talk that shit, man, jump in that chat and talk that shit, and we can have a civilized conversation while talking shit at the same time. That is just the way it is. But guys, it is Panic or Patient Tuesday. There are a lot of panic buttons that we have got to figure out. Are the Buffalo Bills officially in panic mode? Are the Jacksonville Jaguars in panic mode? Or do we need to slow it down, baby? Do we need to slow it down? Do we need to slow it down? To be determined. They lost the Cincinnati Bengals mayor. What are you talking about? They lost the Cincinnati Bengals mayor. Are you referring to Josh Allen? Is Josh Allen Cincinnati Bengals mayor? I don't know what you're trying to say, man. Let me know what you're trying to say, because I have no idea what you're trying to say, my guy. But hey, tighten it up a little bit and we'll figure it out and we will discuss it. But let's talk a little bit of Monday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages. Let's talk some Monday Night Football. That was the ugliest, sloppiest thing I have ever seen on a Monday Night Football field. The Buffalo Bills tried to give the Denver Broncos the game. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but like 5 times. They said, take it, smack us in the face, score a touchdown. And the Denver Broncos are like, no. You score a touchdown. And the Buffalo was like, no, you score a touchdown. Man, it was, guys, if this was not the ugliest football game I've ever seen in my life, listen, I would have rather watched a freaking the Jets versus the Raiders, or the give me the Miami Dolphins versus the Denver Broncos like again. Give me one of those games. Last night was so freaking terrible. But we got to ask the question, With the loss of the Buffalo Bills last night, they dropped to 5-5 on the season. We have been kind of going back and forth here on the man hour, and I think it's going to take about 10 wins for a wild card team to, for a team to jump into that wild card realm in the AFC. When we look at the Buffalo Bills, they got a very, very tough schedule moving forward. They play teams like the Philadelphia Eagles. They play teams like the Kansas City Chiefs. And then they play the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, and by the way, they end the season with Miami Dolphins. And in there, I think they play the Patriots still, with the Patriots always play them tough. And then they play like the Chargers and like the Rams. Guys, the Buffalo Bills do not have a very easy realm. So we got to ask the question, is it time to panic in Buffalo, or is it time to be patient? Because if you are a Buffalo Bills fan, if you are a Western New York native or a Canadian native, if you like the snow, you like the Buffalo Bills. And right now, the Buffalo Bills are basically a Super Bowl or bust team, right? And right now, guys, if you are not panicking in New York, if you are not panicking in Buffalo, you need to check your pulse. You might be dead. You might be dead. Sitting at 5 wins, you have 7 games left, so you have to win 5 of your last 7 to have an opportunity to make a wild card, and you play the Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, and the Dolphins? Those are 4 losses right there, probably. Let's just be honest. Guys, the Buffalo Bills are officially done this season. The Buffalo Bills are no longer a Super Bowl or bust team. Hell, they are let's not get last place team. The New England Patriots might be better suited for a 3rd seed in the AFC East than the Buffalo Bills like at this point. I know that's I'm just trolling there like at that point, guys, but the Buffalo Bills are in trouble. They are in trouble. How can you have one of the most elite quarterbacks in the NFL in Josh Allen? Yes, I think Josh Allen is an elite quarterback. I think he is up there with Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Tua. He is up there. And when you consistently F up time after time and time again, how can you justify, what happened? What needs to happen in Buffalo? How can the Buffalo Bills fix what is going on in Buffalo? Is it a coaching change? Is it a wide receiver change? Is it a quarterback change? Guys, let me know in the comments below. What do the Buffalo Bills need to do to get off of this 5-5 hump and this mediocre crap that they've been going through for the last couple seasons? They legit have a Super Bowl caliber team. They legit have an opportunity to make a lot of noise in the playoffs, but they can't even get out of their own freaking way. James Cook last night had 3 fumbles. One of them wasn't his fault. Josh Allen fumbled the handoff into his chest there. But either way, he had 3 fumbles. First play of the game, fumble. Luckily for him, when he's running for that touchdown, he fumbled it and it bounced right back up to him. Lucky for him. Josh Allen had 4 interceptions. Yes, I know he had 1 tip from Gabe Davis, but the other 3 were terrible. What in the world is going on in Buffalo, guys? Let me know. How can the Buffalo Bills fix their issues? Let's jump into the chat here and see what you guys are saying over here. We got John Peoples in the chat. Good morning, all. Good morning to you as well. John Biron says, sorry, I was texting. It's all good, man. Just get a safe place, speech to text or do whatever you got. Or here in about a half hour, we will have the text or the phone lines open, so feel free to call into the show as well. But Jim brings in the most logical comment that I've seen in a long, long time. He says, Josh Allen sucks, just like a prom date trying to protect their virtue. I think he meant virginity. But yeah, Josh Allen right now is just not playing very good football. And let me ask this question. Is he not playing very good football because of Brian Daboll is no longer there? Because, what was it? This is Brian Daboll's 2nd year removed, right? Is Brian Daboll the reason of Josh Allen's shortcomings as of late? Or is it just the fact that what like John says here, Buffalo is showing their true colors. The Buffalo Bills are a very, very good team on paper. They are just like the Los Angeles Chargers. On paper, good Lord, watch out. Josh Allen, James Cook, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. They have that white boy, number 10. I can never remember his freaking name. They got Von Miller. They got Leonard Floyd. Their defense is stout. Their offense is stout. But yet, 2 seconds in, like one play into the game, you're fumbling the ball away. Like, come on, guys. Figure it out. Figure it out. John says it's like a Chicago versus Carolina. Yeah, that was a pretty good game. Arthur Brown is in the chat with the Denver Broncos pitcher. This man has some of the best graphics you guys have ever seen as profile pictures. If you guys are not following Arthur Brown on Facebook, if you want some fire graphics from the Miami Dolphins, this guy has it for whatever reason. But he says the Buffalo Bills are done. They're done. Put a fork in them. They are a well-done steak that nobody's going to eat. Gross. Who likes a well-done steak? If you like a well-done steak, you better put ketchup on that thing and figure it out. But he says they are done. Wayne G is in the chat from the NFL Expert Podcast. If you guys have not checked that out, you should. They did their last episode, was it Thursday night? And they usually do it Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Wayne G is the man behind the supercomputer. He says the 49ers are going to be first place. But we'll discuss that once Wayne G officially posts those on Wednesday night. But Wayne says, panic. They come out on fire and someone threw ice water on it. Got to get that fire going again. You know, I'm no outdoor expert. I do like to go camping. I like to go hiking. I like to enjoy the nature. But I feel like once you pour water on a fire, it is very, very, very difficult to get that fire restarted. Not only are your logs wet, the ground's wet, there's muddy ash, and then you basically have to have a blowtorch to dry the wood out, and then a fire starter to try to get that started again. I don't think there's any way that the Buffalo Bills can get that fire going again. I just do not see it at all because their schedule is not a get right type of schedule, right? Yes, they do play the New York Football Jets next week at home, right? But the Jets have a good defense. Jets have a good defense. It is going to be a 6-3 score, 3-2 score. It is going to be a nasty game. But let's say whatever, they happen to show up and they blow out the New York Football Jets. 40-6. Blow them out, right? Because we know the Jets are not going to score a touchdown. They'll score 2 field goals. They blow them out 40-6. Okay. But then it doesn't get easy. You travel to Philadelphia. You travel to Kansas City. Then you play the Dallas Cowboys. Then you travel to LA to play the Chargers on Christmas Eve. Then you play the Patriots, a division game. Then you travel to Miami to play the Dolphins. We all know the Dolphins can beat below 500 teams, and if you're below 500 at that time, you're going to whoop your ass. Guys, the Buffalo Bills at this point probably just need to tank the season. They need to be like, oh, Josh Allen has a sore shoulder. We're going to put him on IR. Stephon Diggs, you have a turf toe. Put you on like IR. At this point, they should probably be tanking for a top 10 pick. Like, I know there's no tanking in the NFL. I've said it, and I believe that. But it is definitely time to panic in New York. Arthur Brown says Jets and Chargers might beat them as well. Listen, the Chargers, we'll be talking about the Chargers coming up. But at LA on Christmas Eve, it is a 8 o'clock game. Actually, I think that's a Saturday game. So that's a Saturday night game. I'm not for sure if Bills Mafia will travel to LA like a lot of the other teams do, because at that point you're kind of like, man, we've lost like 7 games in a row. But the Jets, if the Jets beat the Buffalo Bills, I think then they are officially done. I mean, I'm in panic mode now. If I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, I am in panic mode right now. I am hitting that button. I said, find me a solution right now. But man, something's got to be done. Wayne G says the issue isn't coaching at all. Buffalo is loaded with talent. They just need to protect the ball better. I think coaching is the issue. Because Josh Allen is a free spirit, right? Josh Allen is a free spirit. He likes to kind of improvise. He likes to go running down the field. He likes to be running down the court, right? Or not the court, but the field, right? Come on. I don't know, man. When is Josh Allen's contract up? I have no idea. I think he just signed an extension 2 years ago, right? So let me Google it real quick. It said in August 2021, Josh Allen signed a 6-year extension. So that gives him till about 2027. No, I'm sorry. 6 years. Yeah, 2027. So we are 2 years into that 6-year deal. So he has 4 years left. $150 million in guarantees. And it's worth up to $258 million. So they're definitely not moving on from Josh Allen anytime soon. They got a lot of money to pay that guy. A lot of money to pay that guy. B-Ron says they're done as well. Butter the Bills, their toast. Butter the Bills, their toast. I like that. Butter the Bills, their toast. B-Ron says, what do you think about the Cincinnati Bengals? Listen, I think the Cincinnati Bengals are a team that kind of shit the bed last week. The Cincinnati Bengals are a team that should be hitting the panic button as well. Panic, 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 panic. But the Cincinnati Bengals are sitting at 6-3. No, they're 6-4 right now, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go back to my NFL page here. I believe they are sitting at 5-4. And their schedule moving forward, they got the Ravens, Steelers, Jaguars, Colts, Vikings, Steelers, Chiefs, and Browns. Their schedule was not very favorable either. Losing to the Houston Texans was a big deal. This Thursday, when they play the Baltimore Ravens at Baltimore, they have to think about playoffs moving forward. These are playoff games for the Cincinnati Bengals moving forward. Because if you lose to the Baltimore Ravens, that puts you at 5-5. That puts you 4 games behind the division lead, like at that point. Right now, you're strictly playing for a wild card. We think it's going to take about 10 wins, I think, to get into a wild card scenario here, right? So let's say you lose to the Ravens. If you lose to the Ravens, you better beat the Steelers. You better beat the Jaguars. You better beat the Colts, the Vikings. Holy hell, who are they right now? You better beat them as well. So listen, if the Cincinnati Bengals lose to the Ravens, I don't think they're going to sweep the Steelers, so they're going to lose 1 game to the Steelers. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs because for whatever reason, on New Year's Eve, Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs probably have their division locked up. They have their playoff seed locked up, so they're not going to be worried about too much, but that's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals Super Bowl. And then you play the Browns, a Browns team that, good Lord, best defense in the NFL. Deshaun Watson's getting better each and every week. The Cincinnati Bengals are a team that have to win out. They have 7 games left, right? They need 5 wins. So that means they have to sweep the Steelers. They have to beat the Ravens. They have to beat the Browns. They have to beat the Chiefs, right? You have to get 3 of those 5 wins. Do I see that happening? Absolutely not. I think they lose to the Ravens on Thursday. I think the Steelers beat them at least once in the next 6 weeks. Hell, I think they might lose to the Colts. The Colts are a team that they are getting better each and every week, and when they put up as many points as they do, they are the only team in the NFL to score over 20 points each and every week, besides last week when that was just a fluke because overseas, all that crap. But the Cincinnati Bengals are on the outside looking in as well. I think they're going to miss the playoffs. How crazy is to think about this? We are, week 11, going into week 11 of the NFL season, and we're saying that the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals are probably going to miss the playoffs. How crazy is that to think? The two biggest profile quarterbacks, the two biggest profile wide receivers, some of the best defenses that we've seen, they're going to miss the playoffs? What? Hoffy says, knock, knock, knock. What, Hoffy? You're busy, man, so I ended the stream. If you want to just talk shit on the chat, man. Jim says the Bills have been okay with mediocrity for a while. Jim Kelly was the last chance as a positive dynasty. Now they just frog splash through tables pregame. Let me serve my memory right here. And I believe back in August, maybe July timeframe, when we were breaking down the schedules, right? And we went to the Buffalo Bills. I said the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl window is closing, right? It was like this, but then, boof, it was like this now because of the up-and-coming of the Miami Dolphins, because the surgent of the Baltimore Ravens, because of the Pittsburgh Steelers, because of the New York Jets, right? Their Super Bowl window went from like this to like this. And because of the contract of Josh Allen. But when we think about it, I don't think we're ever going to have a true, quote, dynasty in the NFL ever again. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs are performing at a very high level, right? They made, 5 straight AFC championships games? That is definitely an anomaly, right? We are not going to see a dominant nature like the New England Patriots in the 2000s. I just don't see it happening ever again because of the price of the quarterbacks, right? Because the price of the offensive lineman, because the price of a good receiver. When you get good players, when you get good rookies, you have to win right now. And the Buffalo Bills have to win right now, and they're not winning right now. The Buffalo Bills are just like, damn. Hoffy says, let me in. John says, the truth, Wayne G, if Josh makes better decisions, they win. That is very, very true. That is. Can Josh Allen's decision-making be to the fact that he does not trust his coaching staff? Does Josh Allen's thought process be like, hey, I have to win the game on my own because I don't trust Sean McDermott. I don't trust whoever my offensive of coordinator is. I don't trust James Cook not to fumble the ball. Hoffy, I don't even have the stream up anymore, man. I deleted it as soon as you said that you were going to cut trees or something. Arthur Brown says, if you keep Allen in the pocket and force Buffalo to run the ball and shut down Diggs, you win. Or, hear me out, just shut down Stephon Diggs. I don't care about Josh Allen. I don't care about them forcing to run the ball. Double team Diggs. Piss Stephon Diggs off. Stephon Diggs is a player that you don't even know, what his head case is. This man can be winning 70-0 and have 3 touches in the game, and he's sitting here throwing a fit. I want the ball more. We've seen it year after year after year. When the Buffalo Bills loses in the playoffs, Stephon Diggs is so pissed off at Josh Allen and the whole entire team that all you got to do is lock down Stephon Diggs and you win the game. Stephon Diggs is a cancer on the Buffalo Bills. Stephon Diggs was a cancer on the Minnesota Vikings. There's a reason why they just let him walk away, basically. I mean, they got a first-round draft pick out of him, and they end up getting Justin Jefferson, but that's besides the point. Stephon Diggs is a cancer on your team. You shut Stephon Diggs down, you win the game. When I say shut him down, double team him. Don't even let Josh Allen look his way. He sees a safety high and a cornerback in his face. Gabe Davis, you're open. Concade, you're open. James Cook, here's the here's the ball. Let everybody else eat. Piss off Stephon Diggs, you win that game. You win that game. John Paul is in the house. He says Skull Vikings. Let's go. Ron Green is in the house. Man, we got a lot of new names here tonight. Welcome to the show, guys. Be sure to like the stream here. He says the Texans may take the South. We are going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans coming up next. Arthur Brown says rumors are flowing around that Diggs wanted out. After this season, I'm sure he will be gone. Look, Stephon Diggs has wanted out of Buffalo the last 2 seasons. Was it 2 years ago, 13 seconds left in the game? He wanted out then. He's like, this team sucks. Get me out of here. Last season, when they got beat down by Cincinnati at home, get me out of here. You know what makes Stephon Diggs happy? Money. Money and hookers. That is how they're keeping Stephon Diggs around. That's how they're keeping him somewhat happy. They said, Western New York is full of hookers. That is all we got. We got hookers, booze, and money. Which one do you want? Pick 2 out of the 3. Stephon Diggs takes hookers and money. It is what it is. John Paul says that's why we let Stephon Diggs go in Minnesota. Facts. Jim says, I was in Buffalo drinking in a sports bar when OJ was running in the Bronco. Last good run the Broncos and the Bills had. Arthur Brown says, draft Diggs to Dallas, Buck. So you want Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Diggs, brotherly love in Dallas? What? Nah, I think the Dallas Cowboys are perfectly fine with CeeDee Lamb, with Brandon Cooks, with Michael Gallup, with that new tight end that they just got. They don't want no Stephon Diggs. If they wanted to bring a cancer into the locker room, they would bring T.O. back. They would bring cocaine snorting Michael Irvin back. They would bring somebody. Anyways, guys, the next one up here, the next panic or patient, we got to talk about those Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars got beat down bad baby by the San Francisco 49ers. They got beat down so bad that after halftime, the NFL channel was like, we're not going to show any more Jacksonville Jaguars versus San Francisco 49ers because this is child abuse at this point. The 49ers are beating down the Jaguars so bad that we might have to call the authorities to make this stop. That's how bad it is. But the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, guys, are sitting atop of the AFC South with the 1-game lead over the Houston Texans. But after this loss versus the San Francisco 49ers, is it time to panic in Jacksonville? Is it time to panic in Jacksonville? When we look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys, last season, they were so up and down, up and down, up and down. They would win 3 games, lose 3 games. Win 4 games, lose 4 games. They had to beat a 5th-string quarterback in the Tennessee Titans Week 18 to make the playoffs. That's how so up and down they were. And they still almost lost that game. With that being said, are the Jacksonville Jaguars in panic mode right now? Do they need to figure something out real quick and straighten the ship, or they're going to lose this thing? Guys, it is time to panic. It is time to panic if you are a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Yes, you had 5 wins in a row. I'll give you that. But those are the 5 easiest wins I've ever seen in the NFL schedule. You played the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons still have a chance to win the NFC South. They have like 2 wins. 4 wins is going to win the South in the NFC. So you can't really chalk that up. You beat the Buffalo Bills. We were just talking about how bad they were. Not only did the Buffalo Bills play bad that game, they looked bad. They had to play you across the pond, right? So you beat the Falcons across the pond. You beat the Buffalo Bills across the pond. Congratulations. Then you did beat the Indianapolis Colts. A very, very good win. I'll give you that one. But then you beat the Saints without Derek Carr. You beat the Pittsburgh Steelers that we don't even know what the Pittsburgh Steelers are coming or going. Like, who knows what the Pittsburgh Steelers are like at this point? We don't know if Kenny Pickett is good. We don't even know if Devontae Johnson is good. We don't know if George Pickens is good. We don't even know if Mike Tomlin is even still the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are just not very good. 5 wins over mediocre teams. Congratulations, Jacksonville Jaguars. Congratulations. Many people were hyping them up. Oh, they're a top 5 team. They're a top 3 team. I bought into the hype a little bit. I think I slid them up to number 5 in my power rankings. I slid them up to number 5. I'm like, that's just because the 49ers lost and this team lost and this team lost. And I'm just like, But then the 49ers come into town. Not only do they come into your town, they come into your stadium at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 9 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. Beat you down like a red-headed stepchild. Then you play the Titans next week. The Titans are looking not too shabby. Where's Jim at? Mr. Double Python's 24-inch biceps coming out of his shoulder pads. Will Levis is looking pretty good. Yes, Derrick Henry did only rush for like 20 yards last week, but that's just an outlier. They'll be fine. They'll run the ball again. Better watch out for the Titans. Then you travel to Houston to take on the Texans. They already beat you once this season. Not only did they beat you once, they made you guys look like you were the worst team in the NFL. What was it, 37-17? I don't think the Jaguars scored a red zone touchdown. That was a part of their streak where they were in the red zone and they couldn't find the red zone 15 straight times. And then you play the Bengals. We just talked about the Bengals. The Bengals are every game is a playoff game for the Bengals moving forward. Then you play the Browns. Then you play the Ravens. Then you play the Buccaneers, the Panthers, and the Titans again. Guys, it would not surprise me one bit if the Jacksonville Jaguars win 2 games for the rest of the season. 2 games for the rest of the season. Yes, that would give them 8 wins on the season. Guess what? That's still losing. That's still not getting you into the playoffs because the Houston Texans are going to win more than 4 games the rest of the season. The Houston Texans are going to probably win 9 to 10 games for the rest of the season. Jacksonville Jaguars, you guys need to panic. Panic, 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 panic. The Houston Texans are coming for you. The rest of the NFL is coming for you. Jacksonville Jaguars, figure yourselves out now or you are not going to make the playoffs. It is what it is. John says, where's XD Gamer? Damn it, I choose them against the Niners, then they got their asses spanked. Well, John, the reason why the 49ers lost those 3 games in a row, because they got a kicker that they drafted in the 3rd round from Michigan. You never draft a kicker in the 3rd round, right? Any other kicker that would have missed that game-winning field goal versus the Browns would have been cut the next day. Any kicker that would have missed a game-winning field goal versus the Cincinnati Bengals the next week would have got cut the next day. The 49ers were licking their wounds, right? And then they go to Minnesota on, was it Monday Night Football and got beat down there too? They were licking their wounds. 3 losses in a row. CMC was injured. Debo was injured. Brock Purdy was not looking very good. Brandon Ayuk was trying to carry the team, and he's just a second fiddle guy. When they come in full strength after a bye week, that's your bad, John. That was your bad. John Paul says lot of weak schedule all over the league this year. Honestly, so I know that the NFL schedule tries to make the best games possible, right? we always want to see, like how the NFL schedule works is like say you are in the AFC South. The South, you are going to play the West, East, and North, right? So if you get first in your division last season, you are going to play the first team from the West. You're going to play the first team from the North. You're going to play the first team from the East, right? And like they try to balance it out, right? I mean, they want good games week in and week out. But there have been a lot of, quote, cupcake schedules, right? Hoffy, I know you were talking about a cupcake schedule earlier this season, and I forget who you were saying, but there was a team out there that played nothing but losing teams the first 6-7 weeks of the season, and we're talking about they're the best team in the NFL. Oh, that's right, that was Dallas Cowboys. Yes, there are a lot of cupcake schedules this season, but or is that just the parity in the NFL, right? Is the NFL just starting to be a lot more balanced? Because a couple years ago, the AFC, we had probably 5 teams that were rising to the top, and the rest of them were kind of just bottom feeders, right? We had the Ravens, we had the Buffalo Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs. That's about it. Rising to the top. Everybody else was kind of just beating up on each other. The Miami Dolphins were like a 4-win team. The Jets were a 2-win team. And, things change and starting to balance out a little bit. Maybe that's just it. Hoffy says, XD Gamer is realizing we were right all along. The Jags are overrated just like their gay quarterback. Gay as in happy. We don't want to assume his sexuality, although he does have a nose that could probably stick a dick 5 feet up in there, but it is what... I'm sorry. That was a joke for Jim. But yeah, I wouldn't say the Jags are overrated. They just capitalized on a part of their schedule that was very favorable, right? Their first half of their schedule was very, very favorable. Look at the last half of their schedule. Hell, you can look at the next 5 weeks. Not very favorable. Browns, Bengals, Texans, the Buccaneers, Titans. Yes, the Titans may only have, 3 wins on the season. Yes, the Titans are 3-6, but it's still a division game. Jim says, has to be time to panic. Anytime Lawrence is close to you, that nose might steal all your air. But now we know who they beat all season. So if you can only beat mediocre teams, can you be any better than mediocre? That's a great point, Jim. That is a great point. If you can only beat mediocre teams all season long, does that mean you're mediocre? Not if you're the Dallas Cowboys. Because if you are the Dallas Cowboys, if you beat anybody, you're Super Bowl champs. It is what it is. Speaking of Super Bowl champs, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens lost another close game in the fourth quarter to the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. It is beneficial now that all of the Baltimore Ravens losses have come with leads in the fourth quarter, and they shit the bed in the fourth quarter. 3 of their losses to the Colts, Steelers, and Browns have all come in the fourth quarter with the last-second field goal. If they could just, seal the deal a little bit, run the ball effectively, they could easily be 10-0 right now. But guess what? They're not. And with that being said, is it time to panic in Baltimore? The Baltimore Ravens, we've been talking about straight to schedule moving forward. The Ravens have kind of had a favorable schedule as well. Their first game of the season versus the Houston Texans, they did win that game. Now that game on the surface at that time, you beat a rookie quarterback, congratulations. The Houstons are up and coming now, right? But you have to go back to week 1. Week 1, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, brand new system, brand new defense. You beat the Houston Texans 25-9. Congratulations. Then you beat the Joe Burrow-less. Joe Burrow was in there, but he was very, very hobbled in that week 2 game when over the Bengals. And you lost to the Colts. Then you beat the Browns. A good win. Oh, no, it wasn't, because Deshaun Watson wasn't in there. DTR was the quarterback. Literally 3 hours before the game, you're like, oh, DTR, it's your time to shine, man. Good luck. Go get him, cowboy. Then you lose to the Steelers. And then you beat the Titans. Yes, you did beat down one of the best teams in the NFC, and the Detroit Lions. Then you beat the Cardinals, and then the Seahawks, another really, really good team. But then you lose to the Browns. So when you look at that 7-3 schedule, you're kind of like, yeah, they beat the Lions. Yeah, they beat the Seahawks. But besides that, any other time they play a, quote, good team, it's kind of been favorable for them, right? Beat the Bengals. Joe Burrow was very, very injured. Beat the Houston Texans week 1 of the NFL season. C.J. Stroud, first game. DeMeco Ryans, first game as a head coach. Lose to the Browns. Then you look at the schedule moving forward. You travel to L.A. Sunday Night Football next week. Actually, they got a bye this week, but the week after that, they play Thursday versus the Bengals, and then they play the Chargers, right? And then they play the Jaguars at Jacksonville, at 49ers, and they play the Dolphins and Steelers. Guys, I hate to say this, but you know what? It is time to panic in Baltimore as well. It is time to panic in Baltimore. If you cannot consistently close out games, a.k.a. 3 times in a row you've had leads going into the fourth quarter and you lose by 3, you cannot pound the rock. You cannot close out a game. It is time to panic. We all know what Lamar Jackson is in December and January. He is a shell of himself. Do I say it? Trash? He is trash in December and January. Year after year after year, his stats go tank. Like my Bitcoin stock. Going up, then poof, explosion. Pull the rug out of me, damn it, FTX. If you know, you know. But, guys, it is time to panic in Baltimore. They only have a half a game lead over the Pittsburgh Steelers right now and the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh Steelers, we don't even know who they are. One week they're really, really good. The next week they're stupid bad. Cleveland Browns getting better and better and better each week. Baltimore Ravens just lost to the Cleveland Browns. Yes, they beat them earlier this season, but they split with them. Still play the Bengals, still play the Steelers, the 49ers, the Dolphins. Hell, they could lose to the Rams. Matthew Stafford's back. Look out, baby. Guys, if you are a Baltimore Ravens fan, this loss to the Cleveland Browns hurts. It hurts because it shows that you are vulnerable in the fourth quarter. It hurts that, yes, you guys can put up all the points in the world, but damn it, our defense cannot lock it down in the fourth quarter. Damn it, our offense cannot consistently run the ball in the fourth quarter. Yes, we may have put up 280 yards rushing in a game, but when it's ground and pound mode, when it's time to just grind it out, we can't do it. Baltimore Ravens are a myth. They've always been a myth. They will always be a myth. Yes, they do have a really good defense. Their offense is performing right now, but it is panic time in Baltimore. Guys, they could lose to the Bengals this weekend. They could lose to the Chargers, Jaguars, 49ers, Dolphins, Steelers. That's possibly 6 more losses for them. That's an 8-9 record. Do we think they're only going to win one more game for the rest of the season? Possibly. Possibly. Panic time in Baltimore. John says, let me get my name out of there. John says Baltimore could see a last half meltdown of the season. Yes, they could. Much like the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Early season, last season, when they were 4-0 or 3-1 or whatever, then they could very easily win 2 more games for the rest of the season and miss the playoffs. 7-3 right now, one of the best teams in the NFL. They can win 2 more games for the rest of the season and miss the playoffs. Think about that. Ron Green says Ravens had trouble last year getting beat in the fourth quarter as well. If I am not mistaken, I saw a stat where Lamar Jackson has lost 12 games in the fourth quarter with the lead. 12. So going into the fourth quarter, 12 times Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens have had a lead going into the fourth quarter and lost the game. 12 times. Jeez, think about that. WB Ant is in the chat. What is up, my man? He says Ravens should have kept messing Keon Mitchell. Dude only had 3 carries in the game. Could have kept on feeding Keaton Mitchell. 3 carries in the game. When you have Gus the Bus, Gus Edwards is up and coming, right? That is almost a problem with the Baltimore Ravens, is they do maybe have, do I dare say it, too many weapons, right? Because when you look at the running back field alone in Baltimore, they have Justice Hill, right? They have Gus Edwards and Keaton Mitchell as well. All of them are really, really good, valuable pieces, a part of your team, but none of them have that grinded out mode. Not one of these players in the fourth quarter do I trust getting me 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And then when you look at the defensive side of the ball, yes, they have Raekwon Smith. Yes, they do have Patrick Queen. Yes, they do have Jadeveon Clowney. But at the end of the game, who is going to go out there and get you a sack? At the end of the game, who is going to be that guy to lock it down? When you look at other teams across the NFC North, just in general, the AFC North, at the end of the game, you have faith J.J. Watt is going to go get you a sack for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For the Cleveland Browns, you have faith that Myles Garrett is going to go get you that sack, right? On the Baltimore Ravens, who do you have faith that's going to go out there and get you that sack? Is Jadeveon Clowney going to give you effort on that play? We don't know. Michael Pierce? No. Broderick Washington? No. Justice Maduka? No. I don't have any faith in the front seven on the Baltimore Ravens to go and get me a sack. Ant says it's coaching. Blame the coaching. Blame Jim Harbaugh. At some point, I guess maybe you could possibly blame coaching. But the reason why the coaching has been the way it's been is because you've had to cater to Lamar Jackson's inability to pass the ball. You've had to cater to the Baltimore defense inability to stop the run. You've had to cater to the inability of running back staying healthy. I believe if you look at the Baltimore Ravens running back health the last 3 years, they've had like 16 running backs and 14 of them have torn their ACLs. It's like, good Lord. Good Lord. Jim Powell says, call Thurman Thomas. See what he's up to since the 90s. Talk about a man putting a team on his shoulders. Thurman Thomas was that guy. Give it to me, baby. John says he's doing the same thing the Ravens are watching from home. Jim says the Baltimore Ravens have a former league MP, baby. Listen, Lamar Jackson did win a MVP, guys. Second year in the league. I believe he led the league in rushing and passing and all that stuff. But look deep into my eyes. Look deep into these pretty blue eyes. Okay? I'm going to say this nice and slow for the people in the back. I've said this once. I've said this twice. I've said this many, many, many times. The only reason why Lamar Jackson won that MVP that second year in the league was by default. By default. Patrick Mahomes missed 3 games with a dislocated kneecap, and he still almost, he did pass for more yards than Lamar Jackson. He was better for the Kansas City Chiefs than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson won that by default. I'm going to say it is what it is. Ravens are still leading the league in sacks. You are correct. They are leading the team the NFL in sacks. But the reason for that is because a lot of their wins have been, quote, blowout wins, right? When you beat a Cleveland Browns team 28-3, you have the ability to just pin back the ears, not worry about the running game, and go get the quarterback. Oh, by the way, you're playing a backup quarterback. When you're beating the Detroit Lions 38-6, that was a beatdown of a game. Yes, that was just a bad baby game, right? You have the ability to pin back the ears and go get the quarterback. But in nut crunch time, when it's time to put up or shut up, we don't know if they're going to run the ball. We don't know if they're going to run a screen. We don't know if they're going to pass. The Baltimore Ravens do not have that guy to lock it down. Arthur Brown says, isn't the Ravens the second-ranked defense in the NFL? Yes, they are. They are the second-ranked defense in the NFL. But how do you rank defenses? Yards given up, sacks, whatever, right? We almost need Wayne G's supercomputer and put in stats and all this other stuff into the algorithm, into the formula, and I bet you if we were to do that, the Baltimore Ravens would not be a top 10 defense. Because when you are winning 37-3, it is easy to pin the ears back and go, right? But nut crunch time. Every time a game gets close, the defense falters. Football IQ goes out the window. Let's flash back to week 3. Indianapolis Colts, they were up, 19-16 with 2 minutes left. They had the ball, right? Actually, if I remember correctly, it was 2:06 left in the like in the game. The Colts, they get a safety. Colts kick it off. No time runs off the clock because they fair catch it, right? At that particular time, I believe they passed the ball, incomplete pass, run the ball out of bounds, stop the clock with 2:04 left, 2:03 left, and then and then they got a penalty the very next play, like a false start. So the Colts get the ball back. 2-minute warning hasn't even gone off yet. All 3 timeouts. And the Colts go down and kick a game-tying field goal, and they come back and win the game. When it's nut chuck time for the Baltimore Ravens, they shit the bed. They shit the bed. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins says Ant hasn't even played a full NFL season. And I was excited for J.K. Dobbins to come back. He got injured, what was it, week 3 this year, I think it was? Come back from the ACL and then tear his ACL again? Good. Can that man catch a break? Damn. John says the Ravens will have to win out to make it, period. I don't think they have to win out to make the playoffs. They need 3 wins to make it, right? Because I think getting into the wild card this season is going to take 10 wins. So they need 3 more wins. Is it going to come against the Bengals? No. Is it going to come against the Chargers? Maybe. Rams, I can give you that one. Jacksonville's, I'll give you that one. But the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Steelers, where's that 3rd win going to come from? The Baltimore Ravens have a tough thing moving forward, and they need to figure it out ASAP. John says there is a reason why Jim Harbaugh got chased off to cheat his way through college ball. Wasn't Jim Harbaugh the coach of the 49ers, though? John Harbaugh was the coach of the Ravens. I don't think the Baltimore Ravens are chasing off John Harbaugh anytime soon. I don't know. Ant says they definitely have to win those next 2 division games. I do agree. Winning the next 2 division games is key because I think if you win those next two games, they are locked the division up because they've already beat the Bengals head to head, right? They split with the Browns and they lost to the Steelers. So if you win the next 2 games, I think that does lock it up. Ravens need a closer on offense. Yes, they need that hard-nosed runner. They need like a Zeke Elliott. They need like a Tony Pollard. They need somebody that you can give the ball to, that's not going to fumble and get you 3 yards and milk the clock. Jim says ranked defense only matters when the Raiders are mediocre. Jets number 9, so they could act like the Raiders can't win. And then Arthur Brown tries to bring some validity to our conversation. Arthur Brown says, Buck, for gosh sakes, they've only lost 3 games. They have only lost 3 games. The Ravens have only lost 3 games. You are correct. But they need to win 3 more games to make the playoffs, to win the division. And looking at their schedule, I don't see it happening. I don't see them winning 3 more games. Hoffy says they have 85% chance of making the playoffs. So you're saying there's still a 15% chance that they don't make it. And when they lose to the Bengals on Thursday night football, that's going to drop it down to 60. When they lose to the Chargers, that's going to drop it down more. When they beat the Rams, that's going to go up, right? Jacksonville Jaguars, that's going to go up a little bit, right? But then you got the 49ers, Dolphins, and Steelers. Woo! Woo! Who do y'all think is going to win the AFC South, the Texans or the Jags? I think the Texans are the... I think it's the Texans' division to lose right now. C.J. Stroud is playing out of his mind. Jacksonville Jaguars have a tough slate of games coming forward, and we don't know if the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be good or bad, right? They've had such a roller coaster last season. I'm expecting that roller coaster to happen like again. And when you look at the Houston Texans schedule moving forward, they play the Cardinals. Yes, the Cardinals did win last week, but it's still the Cardinals. They play the Jaguars. They've already beat the Jaguars. They play a Broncos team. Yes, the Broncos have won 3 games in a row, but still the Broncos. Then you play the Jets and the Titans. Titans again, and the Colts and the Browns. Ugh. I think it's the Texans' division to lose. I think it is a Texans division to lose. David Nasser's in the chat. Mr. Resident LA Charger fan himself. He says, that's right, Buck. When they lose to the Chargers. John thinks the Texans are going to win the South. Ravens going to beat the Chargers and the Rams. All those other games are questionable. If I'm a betting man, I will give you that. If I'm betting money on that game, I would take the Ravens over the Chargers and Ravens over the Rams, right? But for the rest, like, damn, it's not easy. It is not easy. I feel like they too, their schedule is not bad. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say they're bad. Hoffy says Jaguars have an 83% chance of making the playoffs and the Texans are at 55%. When the Houston Texans sweep the Jacksonville Jaguars, I bet you those percentages flip. I bet you once the Houston Texans beat the Jaguars again, for the second time, those things switch. John says, what is the Houston Texans schedule moving forward? They play the Cardinals this week at home. Then they play the Jaguars at home, the Broncos at home, and then they travel to New York to take on the Jets. Travel to Nashville to take on the Titans, and they got the Browns, Titans at home the next 2 weeks, and then they end the season at Indianapolis taking on the Colts. Pretty favorable schedule. Can they get 5 wins out of that? Sure. I see them beating the Cardinals, Jaguars, Broncos, Jets. There's 4. They'll beat the Titans at least once. There's your 5 wins. Boom. Playoffs. Ant wants to know, who will win the NFC South? That division is a little interesting. I have been on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all season long. I thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to not necessarily run away with the division, but I thought it was going to be 8-9 win team, and they're going to sneak it out. But right now, the Buccaneers are struggling at best. They have won one out of their last 5. They beat the Titans, which is not a very good win. The Saints have a lot of turmoil. They're 5-5, sitting in first place. The Falcons, a lot of turmoil. They're sitting in third place at 4-6. The only team that doesn't have any controversy that still has an opportunity to win the division are the Bucs. I'm still going to go riding with the Bucs. They are 4-5 right now. But looking at their schedule moving forward, 49ers, Colts, Panthers, Falcons probably could win 2 of those 4. Packers, Jaguars, Saints maybe win one of those, and they beat the Panthers. So I think the division is going to come down to whoever gets to 8 wins first, whether it's the Saints or the Bucs or even the Falcons. Whoever gets those 8 wins first wins the division, and I think it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Per Caesars Sportsbook, it looks like Hoffy said the Saints have the best odds, and then it's the Falcons, and then it's the Buccaneers. And if you want to lay some money down, think the Carolina Panthers might get hot, win their next 7 games in a row, and make it a 7-9 season. They could win the division, right? Arthur Brown says Baker's riding the pine soon. What? Listen, I like Kyle Trask. I think Kyle Trask has a very good opportunity to have a good NFL career, just not with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is a quarterback for the Buccaneers now and for the Buccaneers moving forward. I bet you after this year, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the division, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go in, host a home playoff game versus let's say the Minnesota Vikings, and they beat the Vikings, and then they play the Cowboys in the second round, Baker Mayfield gets a nice long-term deal with the Buccaneers. Like when I say long-term, like 5-year deal. 5-year, $120 million or something like that. Baker Mayfield is the future in Tampa Bay, especially after this. I mean, let's flash back to the first four weeks of the season. This guy was throwing for 300+ yards. That defense was looking stellar. Yes, they had a 4-game losing streak, but shit happens when you party naked, right? John says, think the Vikings chase down the Lions to take the North? Very, very good chance, John. Very good chance. When we talk about favorable schedules moving forward, the Minnesota Vikings have one of the most favorable schedules moving forward. Playing the Broncos, the Bears. Sorry, John. Sorry, Jim. The Raiders. Then they play the Bengals, Lions, Packers, and Lions to end the season. So right now they're sitting at 6 wins, right? 5 wins in a row. They beat the Bears, beat the Broncos, beat the Raiders. I think they beat the Packers, and then I think it comes down to a head-to-head game versus the Lions week 18, and they might squeak out a win versus the Lions. It may not be at Ford Field, but the previous week there's 5 more wins for them. That gives them 11 wins. Then we look at the Detroit Lions. Let's pull them up. They play they're sitting at 7 wins, right? So right now I have the Minnesota Vikings at 11-ish wins possibly. So that means the Lions will have to have probably 11 wins with the head-to-head score. So they need 4 more wins. So the Bears, that gives them 8. I think the Packers, the Saints, we don't know who the Saints are. So let's say they lose to the Saints. So they got wins over the Bears, Packers, Bears again, Broncos, and they beat the Vikings. So that's 5 more wins for them. That gives them 12 wins on the season. So I think it's the Lions division. Unless the only way I see the Vikings winning the division is if the Lions lose to the Vikings twice. Now, if that happens, then it's the Vikings division, obviously. But I don't think the Vikings will chase down the Lions. It's going to come down to a Week 18 game, I think, which is great for football, great for the NFL. Flex that game right. It is what it is. Ant says, I had the Saints winning, but Baker has been the best QB in that division. IMO. Carr hasn't been that good. Derek Carr has had a very, very frustrating season. Derek Carr has flashes of greatness, and then he's like, I don't know what to do with like my hands. I am just really confused on Derek Carr, to be honest. Arthur Brown says Tampa is drafting a quarterback. Let me ask you this, Arthur. Let's say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make the playoffs. Let's say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win a playoff game, like my scenario was. You will then at that point have what, like a 24th pick and beyond? Do you get a quarterback 24 and down? 25th pick and beyond? I'm not for sure. I mean, you drafted Kyle Trask just a couple years ago. You have Baker. Like, why? Like, before you draft a quarterback, don't you want to see what you have in Kyle Trask? Like, if Baker Mayfield isn't the answer, don't you want to see what you have in Kyle Trask? Kyle Trask spent 2 seasons behind Tom Brady, spending another season behind Baker, right? He is learning the game. He's doing well. I don't know. Yep, him and Tannehill are both losing their jobs. Ryan Tannehill is done in Tennessee. Baker Mayfield is not. Jim says the last comment of the day, guys, is going to come from Jim. Actually, we've got 2 more comments. Carr has been in the blue tent more than ever in his first 9 seasons. Yes, hell, what, last week when they, who they play last week? Was it the Steelers? I can't remember who they played. He got a concussion and he hurt his shoulder all on the same play. So Derek Carr is definitely playing injured right now. But Jason Wright, another new name in the chat. What is up, Jason? He says it won't happen. Bucks ain't winning a playoff game. As I kind of agree with you, he says I put money on it. As I kind of agree with you that the Bucks won't be favored in that playoff game, but any given Sunday in the NFL, right? Anytime a team makes it to the playoffs, it's a brand new season, right? It is a brand new season. 0-0, it doesn't matter, right? Last year, it was Tom Brady's final year, right? When the Buccaneers played the Dallas Cowboys in the playoff game, did anybody give the Dallas Cowboys a chance in hell in that game? Earlier that season, I believe it was the opening game of the season, Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat down the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys come back and won that playoff game. Let's flash back. Seattle Seahawks, 7-10. Win the division. 13-3, New Orleans Saints come into the 12th man. Anybody give the Seahawks any opportunity to win that game? Absolutely not. Any given Sunday, anytime you make the playoffs, it is what it is. Jason says they won't make the playoffs. When you win the division, you make the playoffs. They're winning the division. But guys, that's going to be it for today's show. Thank you for joining us live, raw, uncut NFL talk, guys. Great interaction today. We love you guys. Myself and Hoffy will be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. East Coast time. NFL Power Ranking show tomorrow. See where the Jaguars rank. See where the 49ers rank. See where the Chiefs rank. Check it out tomorrow, guys. 10 a.m. East Coast time. This is the only live, raw, uncut NFL show you guys got that's fully interactive. Feel free to call the show. Phone number's down at the bottom. Leave a voicemail. We'll answer it. See you tomorrow.